So we're going to do some work again today in our computation station booklet, which is this one right here. The other day we worked on some patterns in addition, and you guys looked at this chart and we talked about the patterns that we see there, and then we read these three rules. Let me get a different color here. We read about these three rules in adding, and today we're going to be doing something very similar but with multiplication. So turn to this page, the Find the Patterns multiplication page. Here's a chart that shows our multiplication tables, and if you have a look at this chart again, we can see different patterns throughout the chart. So have a look at that yourself. Take a highlighter out if you have one and highlight some of the patterns you notice. Here it's going up by ones, here it's going up by twos, it's going up by threes, which makes sense because that's the times 3 row. Same thing going this way, through fours by threes by twos. Are there any other patterns that you see? How about this row, this diagonal? At first glance, it doesn't really look like much of a pattern. We got 24, 33, 40, 45, 48. I can't see much of a pattern there, but if you look closely, from 24 to 33, it goes up by 9, and then from 33 to 40, it goes up by 7. From 40 to 45, it goes up by 5. From 45 to 48, up by 3, up by 1. Then it goes the other way by 1, down by 1. And here it's going down by 3. So we'll say it's minus 3. Here it's going minus 5, minus 7, minus 9. Sorry, my pen doesn't work the greatest on here. But there you can see there is actually a pattern. It's going up by all the odd numbers, and then it's going down by all the odd numbers. And there's other patterns that you can find throughout the chart. So let's head on down here to the rules. Review the 3 multiplication rules and complete the exercise. Rule 1. When you multiply any number by an even number, the product is always even. So 3 times 4 equals 12 is an example. 3 is an odd number, but 4 is even. Notice that the product is 12, which is even. So here they have an example where it's an even times an even, and it's still even. So anytime you are multiplying by any even number, the answer will always be even. Rule number 2. When you multiply any number by 3, the digits of the product always add up to a multiple of 3. We've talked about this one in class before. Let's make that a little thicker. The multiple of 3 up to 100 are as follows. So these are all the multiples of 3. 3, 6, 9, 12, all the way to 100. So their example here is 3 times 4 is 12. So we times something by 3, which means the digits that are in our answer in the product should add up to one of these numbers. Okay, messy. So 12 is 1 plus 2, which is 3. Makes sense. Let's try a different one. Let's try 5 times 3. What's 5 times 3? It's 15. 5 plus 1 equals 6, which is another one of our multiples of 3. So if you have a number like 9 times 3, whoops, I can't go off the page apparently. If you have a number like 9 times 3, and you get an answer like, I think it's 26, you can check your answer by adding your digits, 2 plus 6, and you get 8. And you know that's not on this multiples of 3 list, so you must have made a mistake, because anything times 3 must add up to a multiple of 3. So the real answer is 27, which is not 8, it is 9, which is on our list right there. So that's rule number 2. Rule number 3 in multiplying. Rule number 3, when you multiply any number by 5, the last digit of the answer has to be a 5 or a 0. And that we can see with 5 times 3 or 5 times 12, and you can try any other ones you want. Anything times 5 will always end in a 0 or a 5. So based on those rules, again, we're going to change the directions a little bit. We're going to put a check if it's correct. We're going to put an X if it's incorrect. Okay, that's very messy, I apologize. So look through it. 6 times 8 is 48. If I look at the rules back here, rule number 1, anything times an even number had better be even. So I look here, there's an even number, and our answer is even, so that would be correct. Okay, here we have an even times an even, and our answer is even again. I know that's also going to be correct. Okay, even if you take your calculator out and figure it out and that's not right, that's okay. What we're trying to figure out is, does it follow these rules? Okay, so if I look down to a different one, the times 3 rule, anything times 3, the digits in the product should add up to a multiple of 3. We have 11 times 3 is 33. If I add 3 plus 3, that is 6, which is a multiple of 3. I can check it off. Okay, work your way through those 18 again. Then I want you to keep going to this page. This one is very simple. We've talked about this a lot this year, so I don't think you'll have a problem with it. Multiplying by 10, 100, or 1,000. Multiplying by 10, 100, or 1,000 is easy if you know these tricks. If you multiply a number by 10, you add a 0 at the end. If you multiply by 100, you place 2 zeros at the end. If you multiply by 1,000, you place 3 zeros at the end. So very simple. 10 times 12 is 10 with a 0 at the end. Yeah, hopefully you realize that I made a boo-boo. 10 times 12 is 12 with a 0 at the end. 10 times 32 is 32 with a 0 at the end. You're adding 1 0 for all the tens. You're adding 2 zeros for all the hundreds. And you're adding 3 zeros for all the thousands. Okay? Finish those off, and that'll take you no time. Okay? Thanks.